I just want you to stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself from top to toe and toe to top. Look, if you're so comfortable with yourself, stand there naked, and it's so powerful. Or stand there with minimal clothes on, it's so powerful. And the other thing is, when your child is looking in the mirror, let them look in the mirror, don't stop them, because everything stems from when you're young. And look at themselves, let them see how they look, let them dance in front of the mirror, because as adults, we've forgotten to become that child.
Hello everybody, I'm Rani and you're watching the Chit Chat Chai show, and I'm so excited to tell you, but first of all I'd like to say Sat Sri Akal, Ji Aayan Nu, and I'm really excited to tell you about my guest who's on our show today. She's a body confidence coach and she brings colour into your life. She teaches you how to love yourself from within, and I can not express how excited I am. So without further ado, here is Mina. This is Mina. Mina, would you like to say hello to our guests?
Hi everyone, my name is Mina Kumari.
Yes.
So as a lot of our audience probably will be very Bollywoody. So my dad named me Mina Kumari after the Mina Kumari actress. So I got with that name, and then obviously she's the tragedy queen, Bichari, but I'm the happy queen. That's how I differentiate myself with the Mina Kumari.
Yeah.
And so thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, honestly. We've had such a lovely time talking about things before the actual show went on air. I think your journey is absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal. Tell me how your journey started.
Okay, from the age of 4, Uganda, 1972, we all got, as family, got all kicked out. So we all came to Leicester, where my chacha was. So the whole family, extended family, all descended from Uganda into this 2 up, 2 down house. There was about 14 of us in this one house. And as a 4-year-old, I just remember little bits. But as time went on, we moved out. My dad got his own corner shop. And
as in what?
So he had an off license.
Sure.
Being a Brahmin, being a Gujarati.
Wow, that's a different step.
Exactly. So I ended up running a corner shop, and off license and stuff, and did really, really well. And then as time went, we all progressed. I remember my hardest time was, I think I was about 7 or 8, and my mum ended up with TB.
Okay.
So I've always had responsibilities from a very, very young age. So I have 3 siblings. I have an older brother who is 4 years older than me, and 2 younger brothers. And I remember, obviously, isolation. I remember coming into the country and we weren't integrated into the schools. I remember just being taken in a coach somewhere to learn to speak English.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were never...
So what, that was a community thing?
No, I think it was a government thing.
Okay.
Where children who came... So all of us that came over from Uganda, we were all taken somewhere to another school, taught how to speak English. And I think it's something to do with isolation as well. So we had to be isolated from everyone. Like, obviously, there's a big thing about TB. My mum had TB and I was helping her look after my brothers. My dad was running the shop. We had extended family. Obviously, with TB, you can't get close to that person.
Yeah.
So it was very, very hard. And I remember going to school as well. But we were, like I said, we were taken away. And I've got vague memories to say that we were taught how to speak English.
Yeah.
Once we learnt that, then we were allowed to go to mainstream school. I think the saddest bit was, I remember every 6 months we used to have to go and sit in this clinic with these gowns on because we were all tested for TB. And then they used to, those injections. We used to have those injections with the round circles.
Oh yeah, the big one. I think every Indian's got that.
Every Indian's got it. So I remember having those.
It's like, doesn't matter what tan you are, everyone knows when you walk past him, she's Indian.
Exactly.
He's Indian.
It's the hallmark.
He looks slightly Indian.
Exactly. So, and then life just progressed where, we moved house. Dad did really well. Then he started running a factory with my uncle, which was really manufacturing in Leicester. Did really well. And then at the age of 17, I met the love of my life as an arranged marriage.
And it was your Shah Rukh Khan moment.
Actually, he was my Jackie Shroff in there.
So who sang the first Hindi song? Was it you?
He was
or was it?
No, he was
coconut.
Pure coconut, and I was the Hindi. So it was East meets West with me and him. So we were introduced, and we were at somebody's wedding, and then how we met each other was through our eyes. This guy, nobody's
Wow.
seen it. Nobody's seen
Can
it.
can you think of a Hindi song right now that you could relate to that scene?
Tujhe dekha to ye
Jana.
that's the one. If I can relate it to today's life, that's what it is. Because we clocked eyes.
Mm.
I said to my sister, I said, who's this, Babs? She goes, I think he's come to see you. I goes, well, it's a yes from me. I never met him. It's just a look, literally.
Okay.
He looked a cross between, he was a George Michael lookalike.
Wow.
With his floppy, gorgeous hair, his eyes, his face. He was just like, I think we just kind of smitten by each other. And then I remember him coming to our house with his family that same after the wedding. And I was doing the dug tray, bringing the chai out
Innit?
to the whole family. 17-year-old.
Did you make samosa and
No,
jevra?
Gujarati. We just have nashta. We have jevras and gatiyas.
Yeah.
So I remember doing all that. And so just quickly fast forward, because I remember this, in our 25th anniversary card, he actually wrote everything he saw about me that day. He remembered the colour sari I wore. He remembered the shiny tray. He goes, my hair. He goes, your eyes were just gleaming. He goes, the smile. He goes, it was your killer smile. He wrote all that.
Wow.
So it was a proper
Maybe you should collaborate with someone like Shadi.com.
what, to see how I can help people.
आपको ऐसी शादी चाहिए तो ये लिखो अपने कार्ड में.
We could do, but I don't think it's going to work in this day and age.
Yeah.
But I did actually ask my daughters when they turned 17, I goes, I got an arranged marriage. Would you like an arranged marriage? They just looked at me and mortified like, are you crazy? I said, I've done my job.
Yeah.
I've asked my husband sitting there going, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I goes, I never want them to turn around and say, but you didn't ask us.
You know, do you find like having you got a daughter? How many
Two,
kids?
I've got two girls.
Two girls, right? Do you find that it's they find it very hard to relate to that generation that we had to go through? I mean, I didn't have arranged marriage; I had love marriage.
Right.
But do you find that they want to keep it open to options? Because I find that I've got friends whose kids have dated and things haven't worked out, and now they've turned around to their parents and said, why don't you arrange arranged marriage for me?
I think it works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But not my girls.
Yeah.
Right, my girls have found their own. So my older one's married. She's been with her partner for about 13 years this year, and my younger one's had a partner. Now she's single and she's on the dating scene. I can't see my girls fitting into the traditional family. I just can't see them because one of the other things I did, I remember when my husband, after we got married, and he goes, if we have children, what would you like for the? I said, look, if we had girls, what I want for my girls is something I never had. I said, I want them to have freedom of speech, and I want them to use their voice, and I want them to be independent.
So were you from quite a strict family?
Yeah, I was from a fairly strict, conservative
Well,
background.
Leicester is quite strict.
Yeah.
It's like Birmingham as well,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like, if you're, one of the things was like, as at college, as a group of people, you just go to the British Home Stores, a coffee place, right? My dad used to get a phone call every week to say, I've seen Mina with a boy, right? And it's
Typical.
like, yeah, exactly.
Typical.
And
It's
I'm
not like, hello ji, aap
Hello ji,
kaise ho?
kaise
Haan,
ho?
kaise ho? Saru che? Nah. Oh, I saw Mina.
exactly.
Yeah.
I saw
So
your
were
daughter.
you the hottest chick in the town?
I wouldn't say. I know there was a lot of people. That sounds really daft. But yeah, all right. Let's just say yes, I was.
Oh.
People used to come to our house like every Sunday. There's always wedding season. Back in the day, the whole khandan and their families and their friends all come to the wedding because there's no numbers game then, is it? Back in the day,
But that was the best way to find a partner, don't you think?
it was 100%, 100%.
Instead of all these new apps and stuff.
And that's what it was. So people used to descend onto my dad, like come over for like chai after the weddings and stuff. As soon as I got engaged, nobody came. My dad goes, see?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, okay. But then, I got married very young, so engaged at 17. I was looking at my engagement pictures and I'm like, I was a child.
Wow.
But back in the day, now we're talking about 85, right?
Yeah.
I was a child. And it happened in this country. So when I talk to a lot of my friends, especially people who've come from abroad, they go, boy, you got married, you were engaged at 17 in this country.
Yeah.
I goes, yeah. Because to me, it was like, my dad said, either study or get married. I'm like, I'm not really good at studying, so I'll just get married. So yeah, that was the option I had. But I wasn't going out because I was too scared. I had, like, in my school, I had all my brothers, and I had the whole khandan in the community in the same school. So if there was about going out with somebody, you'd get caught. So it was not worth it. So then things happened. Then I got married at the age of 18, moved from Leicester to Slough. same to same, really.
Yeah, same to
They're
same. Hang
same
on,
to
from
same.
Kenya to Leicester, from Leicester to Slough. So
Exactly.
you never lived.
I've never moved away from.
What's
so-
that saying that you can take?
You can take a girl out of Leicester.
No, the other one about the pendu. So you could take the pendu out the pind, but you can't take the pind out the pendu.
100%. There you go. That was me. So yeah, then I got married. It was challenging. You know, we watch all these serials. So yes, being an 18-year-old, coming into a family, and my Jetani got married 2 weeks before me. So
Okay.
2 new girls coming into a new family. So there's always star plus drama somewhere.
Was it that?
Without
One,
Sabras.
was it one of those
Saas
moments
bahu.
of yes, saas bhi kabhi bahu thi, innit?
Exactly. So those things, look, it happens. So, you know, you just get on with life. Then one of the other things, and this is one thing that I talk about a lot more now, is like when I had my first child, I was 20 and I went to postnatal depression. 1988, nobody talked about postnatal depression. There was no such thing as mental health. There was nothing. So you just get on with life. It was really, really tough. And
a lot of people never talked about them.
nobody talked about it. It's like, yeah, it's happened to us. You know, you're not any special. You're not anything different. Sara ho raha hai. You know, it has happened all
It's
the
just
time.
part of life. It's how you're going to grow as a woman.
But
Yeah.
you know, as a 20-year-old, you don't know you can't speak to your parents because you're in this family. You can't talk to this family. My husband's young. He's only 23. Like when our first daughter was born. Then I did have a very like challenging time. There was things like the mental health side of it, and I have talked about it. So I got into self-harming because I just didn't know what to do as a 20-year-old. You go into self-harming. But,
So when you were married?
When I was married, yeah. So, and it was after I had my daughter because I didn't know how to cope with life and situations. So, you know, for some reason, I don't know, I found a way of doing something which wasn't cutting myself, but it was burning myself.
Oh.
So that kind of happened quite a lot. And then when I had my second child after 5 years, I think I got better. I knew how to deal with it. But then my little one was born and it was great. Then we moved out the family home. The 4 of us went into our own place. But then again, you know what it's like. It's the SARS, bold dramas, that taking my son away, not part of the family. So all of this.
So the typical Bollywood style,
it happens
yeah.
everywhere. But you know what? I don't have any remorse towards anybody. And I'm like, they didn't know any different. You know, my husband, if we did have an argument, it wasn't me and him. It was about family. But I think that happens in all couples.
Yeah.
It's not between the two of you. It's about everything else. But then, you know, life just went on. My kids grew up. And again, my daughters, when they went to university, so they started going out with white guys.
Okay.
So you know what our community is.
Yeah.
It's like, but these guys were just amazing. So my now son-in-law, the Polish guy, he knows how to listen to the Hanuman Chalisa.
Wow.
Because when they moved in with us for a little while before they started getting their own place, I used to have the Hanuman Chalisa on every morning, like on a loop. And one day I'm like, the poor guy's working and I've got this Hanuman Chalisa. So I just switched it off, switched the loop off. I had listened to it once and switched off. And then one day he goes to me, is your, I think it was CDs then, or I can't remember what it was, MP3 player. He goes, is it not working? I said, no, why? He goes, oh, because your music isn't playing. I said, no, because I thought it was disturbing you. He goes, I actually like it.
Yeah.
So do you know when people's perception of like, people don't integrate.
Yeah.
Different people don't integrate.
Yeah.
It's so wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's whatever happens in your home, these people, like they learn to integrate. We don't integrate anywhere else, but other cultures integrate to our community, and we don't
100%.
and we don't give them enough credit.
Yeah.
And I remember being the black sheep because my daughters lived with these guys. Obviously, we don't try before we buy in our culture, do we?
I don't know. Quick, we got to cut that bit.
Well, you know, like it's frowned upon that you do not live out of wedlock.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Especially with a mom from Leicester.
Exactly.
And,
So it was like, you know, I know I'm the black sheep. Everything I do is always against the grain because I wanted something different for my daughters. I didn't want them to go through what I wanted to go through.
So you wanted to change the cycle.
I just wanted to change the narrative of their life.
Yeah.
But in a different way that it's normal to normalize it. But again, it was things like look at her daughters. So what I haven't said that in 2003 my dad passed away.
Okay.
2006 my eldest brother died at 41 with a heart attack.
Sorry to hear that, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been through quite a lot of bereavements, and then 2017 my mum passed away. 2021 my youngest brother passed away with COVID.
Oh my God.
Right, so in between mom had dementia because there's early onset dementia from my brother passing away. So no parent,
The shock and stuff, yeah.
no parent wanted to see a child die before them. So I went through that. So also in 2021, my younger brother passed away in January. Because we're in lockdown here, right? Just after lockdown. September 2021, my husband passes away.
Oh my God.
So I've, in the last 20 plus years, all I've been going through is bereavements.
Hmm.
And this is why people look at me thinking, how do you cope? I'm like, you just cope. You can either stop or you continue.
Yeah.
You can sink or swim.
Yeah.
I chose to swim. So 2020, so the back thing is so if I just reverse a little bit backwards, 2020, my husband was diagnosed with leukemia through lockdown.
Okay.
And then we went through that whole journey. He was in remission. Then obviously we know that if you've got cancer, it's an infection that kills you.
Yeah.
So sadly, that's what happened to him.
He couldn't have been. Yeah.
There's no diagnosis. There's nothing. They've done everything they can. It's it's that kind of thing. So in 2015, so I became a bank manager. So my career was all in banking.
Oh wow.
So I started from the cashier and the counter and opening accounts and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I became a manager. So I started running branches. I had about 15, 20 people I was looking after, then managers and business managers, mortgage managers. So I was managing them all. 2015, my husband goes to me, oh, fancy going to Singapore? And I'm like, yeah, I thought for a holiday. He goes, I've just been offered a job. I goes, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
What a change.
I know. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, 2015. So we went, 2016, come January the 6th, we moved to Singapore for 18 months.
Wow.
And he goes to me, I couldn't find a job there. And he goes, do you know what? You've never had time out. Why don't you just take some time out? So do you know what I became? The expat Singaporean wife.
Wow.
It was amazing. Every Wednesday night, ladies, free drinks. And poor guy was working.
So you had an early retirement.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I became the housewife, and then he was working. I'm like, wow, I'm getting used to this.
Yeah.
Then we came back in July 2017. So while I was out there, because I'm a voluptuous woman, so a lot of women out there came from different.
I would
countries.
never have guessed.
No, I don't flaunt it about much.
Well, you should, according to your title.
Absolutely. I'm coming to that very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
slowly. So these women are like, tu morti hai, lekin you dress well. These are all women from India. Tu morti hai, you've got a very smiling face, but you dress well.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay.
Thank you, Auntie G, innit?
No, yeah, exactly. And I thought, no, in my head, come from banking business. So I met a stylist out there. She goes, Mina, why don't you become a stylist? And I'm like, okay, I like this. So when I came to visit my daughters, I started shopping for these women.
Okay.
So I became a personal shopper. Right. So every time I came to there, I'm going to go to the UK. Does anybody want anything? I learned how to size them up. I learned the styling. I learned how to look at the bodies, what looks good on a voluptuous figure, what looks good on a smaller figure. And I started shopping for them. So then I thought, okay, this is good. Making a little bit of money. And then I came back to the UK and I thought, okay, I need to do something else as well. So then I added colouring. So we know.
So you ditched the retirement.
Well, yeah, because I was never going to sit back. So then I started training to become a colourist as well. So I know as our skin tones, the lighter the colours we wear, the more grey we look, and we look sad. So if you see any South Asian woman with a skin tone, you put colour on them, look how vibrant we become.
Yeah.
Think about our weddings. Why are they so vibrant? So that's what I became. So I became a stylist. But I started doing that when I came back to the UK. But when I was dressing these women, when I got them to look in the mirror, they looked great on the outside, but you know what it was? I didn't see them loving themselves. They looked good, but you know what it is? It's about the bodies, the naked
About
body.
the inner love.
Inner love.
Yeah,
They don't have that. Do you know why? And I'm like, why do we not? Then it came to me that, Mina, when you were getting married, you were only a size 10 or a 12. People thought you were fat, right?
Oh, in them days?
In those days,
Wow.
right? So people thought I was fat. Then I ballooned after having my children, obviously going through my postnatal depression and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, well, if you thought I was fat then, what the hell do you think I'm now?
You should send them some pictures.
Yeah. So that's what it was. And then I'm like, okay, I need to talk about the bodies. I need to get to love bodies. I started hating my body because I know the yo-yo dieting. So I went through all that. So I'm like, if I went through that, a lot of these women are going through this. Then I found a course that I could do and get qualified as a body confidence coach.
Okay.
So I turned it around. So I became the body confidence coach, stylist and colorist. And I could see the change.
And what year was that?
This was in 2018.
Okay.
So 2018 I did that and it started working. And
Wow.
I'm like, wow, okay, I've just flipped it on the head and this is working. Women are like loving themselves. So I started teaching women how to love their naked body. I mean, I didn't stand there and watch them to say, let me have a look. No, it wasn't nothing like that. I taught them how to look at themselves in the mirror. Because once you start loving your body, nobody can touch you.
So you became like you became like a color coordinator. You became a body confidence coach, but you also, it sounds like you became a counselor.
It was
because they were
because you do life. Because what you need to know is like, if everyone has a story. Okay, I'm going to go back to our South Asian community. When we're young, if a little baby's born, oh, get that child, oh, so cute. As soon as they get slightly older, moti hai, kali hai, ye hai, wo hai. So think about it starts from a very young age.
Yeah.
And that, from the young age,
That's the trauma that sticks in your head.
And a lot of this stuff was childhood trauma. So, you know, like when you're going to get married, oh, don't eat too much, you'll get fat, you look different on your wedding day. No one's going to marry you. Your nose, this, that, the bloody other, right? So because that's what we do to women in our society and culture. So I had to...
How do you think you could break that though?
You can't break that. We need to break the generational cycle.
But how would you go about breaking that?
So
like
basically, I've become so
should we get hold of Star Plus? Saying, please, हमारी एक कहानी
No,
बनाओ. हाँ, body के बारे में.
100%, because we don't talk about it. And can I just say, it's not just women. We think it's women, it's men as well.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, do you style men?
Yeah, so
do you
it's not
find
about
men have
styling.
lost their confidence?
There's so many life situations that men have started contacting me as well. To say we need help, because they'll be like, think about the divorces.
In a good way or
in an absolutely wonderful way. So think about the divorces. Think about widowers.
Yeah,
men, you know, I lost my husband. Men lose their wives as well through illness and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it works both ways. So what we tend to do is focus on women. But I'm like, no, these men need help. Like, you know, men of a certain age, when they're trying to date, we are so judgmental that we want someone to look like Shah Rukh Khan, or we want someone to like John Abraham, but we don't look at ourselves. So it happens vice versa.
Do you think that stigma is still there, that they want the actor-looking guy, or do you think that women find that they want somebody who's going to love them for them?
Do you know
and
what's really
heart
hard?
And personality?
It's really hard. I think we still want visual.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you
I think
still want
visuals
that
still,
Bollywood film scene?
Yeah, but they're like, are they the really nicest people? Because we see them in a movie being so romantic. Real life isn't romantic. I grew up on Bollywood thinking my life's going to be Bollywood when I get married. Boy, did I learn very quickly that life isn't Bollywood.
Well, it was. I mean, you had the Saas Kabhi Bahu.
You
got the Star Plus side in your in-laws.
Yeah, but I didn't get the Bollywood.
Yeah, you didn't get the Bollywood.
Like, you know, like all that kind of stuff, the romance and stuff. My husband's like, what's all... I want Janjare one day. And he goes, what's that bloody noise? And then Madhuri Dixit said that in one of her interviews that she tried to do that. My husband's going, what's that bloody noise? Because he didn't even know what Janjare was.
Oh, your husband didn't know?
I don't know. He was a right bindu. He was a right coconut. He really didn't know anything. He just knew I looked good.
Yeah.
He didn't know about the jingle jangle and all that kind of stuff. He wasn't a romantic guy. He was a loving guy.
I thought that, you know, you being the Bollywood queen that you are, you'd turn him into
I did.
your ideal Shah
Oh
Rukh
my
Khan.
God, darling, I did turn him. Because there was a time that he started learning from me. I'm like, okay, I learned from him.
Yeah.
And he learned from me. So we became compatible. And then I remember there's one stage that I kind of became very modern.
Yeah.
And he became very desi.
Wow.
And then we talked about it, and then we had to come back to say, hang on, something's not quite right.
Yeah. So you were talking earlier about the fact that you and your husband was going to start this body. I want to ask you, how did you start and rediscovering yourself? What was it that you decided to do? This is before your husband passed. The conversation we had earlier. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Right. So while he was, because he was always in IT, so he had this knack of getting men to talk. So he trained as a hypnotherapist.
Okay.
So what would used to happen that sometimes men used to just drop into our house. I made them shy and I disappeared. So they used to talk.
Again, men. Why are you always gathered with men?
Exactly.
Did he ever tune into you somehow?
What do you mean?
Like, did he ever tune into you, your
No,
husband?
because I wouldn't let him. Because if you go into my head, then me and you don't work.
Ah.
No, I think when he was studying, he did try to hypnotise me. I said, but I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I said, you
So
can't.
did you have this bubbly personality all the way through?
I've always had this, but there was a time I lost myself.
Okay.
I really lost myself, and I became a different version of myself, and I didn't like it.
Okay.
But on the outside, right, I'm still me.
What caused that, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, speak about it if you want, if you're
100%.
confident
I think
enough.
it's family pressures.
Yeah.
Because society, because you're not part of a family, you're craving for love and all that kind of stuff. So on the external, you've got amazing friends, you do everything, but when you come behind closed doors, it's different. You know, it's
That's
a
why they
different
say
lifestyle.
you don't know what goes on.
This is it. That's what I'm saying. You know, as human nature, we don't want to let the world know what's happening. We would say, no, sab kuch theek hai, nothing's happening, la 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 la. How many families go through that?
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk home, it's a different story. Right? So my work was my outlet. Being a manager, working externally was my outlet. And then obviously, like I said, when I started studying for this body confidence, it gave me, because my husband was so encouraging. He was just like, babe, do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. You've been through it. So while I was studying, he never knew, like, you know, all the little jirs that happen in families and stuff. I never told him anything. And then one day,
about your in-laws.
I didn't tell him anything what was happening in the families, and I'm like, you know what, it's easier. So I just kept it in me. So when I was studying, I had to go through therapy myself, because you have to understand what your actions are. Why do you become a certain person? Because it's all through trauma.
Yeah.
Right? Then I started writing all these answers down, and one day I just thought, and I said to him, I said, Amit, do you want to kind of go and read what I've written? Because you want me to? I goes, yeah, I think it's time that you kind of read some of my answers.
Yeah, they say writing down things.
Yeah, but no, this was while I was studying.
Okay.
Right, because it was like going through.
Also, answers for what you were studying, or just
this is what I was
just
studying.
you as your thoughts.
No.
Okay.
This is what I was studying, because I had to go through like so many questions, because it's like therapy. Because if I'm going to do this is why I say becoming a body confident coach is not me just going signing up and answering a few questions. I had to go through therapy myself to become this person, to understand people.
Right.
So, and he's read all my answers, and he was just like gobsmacked. He goes, you never told me any of this, how you feel. I just shrugged my shoulder. He gave me the biggest hug, and he goes, wow. And he said, I'm so proud of you. And it is like, I'm getting quite tearful just thinking about it, because I just remember that day so well. And then, obviously, then I started my business. I was just about to start my business, and then we came in lockdown. So what we decided that in February 2020, we decided that in 2020, we were going to travel. So we had about 4 holidays booked. Because he was about to retire, semi-retire, and I was going to go, and then we thought we'll start this business together. So let's do some travelling and then do that. But then lockdown came. So in lockdown, he was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh, gosh.
So the plans we had wasn't working.
So you had to put everything on hand.
Everything came to hold. Everything came. Then he passed away in September 2021. So that pandemic, I was literally in and out of hospital. I lost who I was, because I was so tired. We're living inside, travelling to Oxford every single day. Lockdown, nobody else can go. So it was a very, very tough period, but we got through it. And then after he passed away, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to celebrate his life. So his funeral was a party.
Okay.
So I just said, because one thing I've always said is, you know what, as couples, as families, as a South Asian people, we don't talk about it enough. But I learned from my dad to say, have everything prepared.
Okay.
Yeah? Because I was a bank manager, I saw all the trauma that men went through when a person passes away through a divorce or anything, because nobody teaches us, or nobody, only one part of the couple will do all the finances. So the other one doesn't know.
Yeah, I find that quite a lot in women.
Yeah. So this is like, so there's a predominantly, we're coming in a macho society where men do it all, women don't do it, because we've got defined roles when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you get women to do it. So we got everything ready, and I'm like, and we had our songs prepared.
Wow.
We've gone to such detail, because when my brother passed away in 2006, we said my brother didn't even have a choice of what he wanted. So my kid, his kids guessed what he would have wanted. So we've literally had our songs, the kind of funeral we wanted, the food. And then I just thought, you know what, I'm going to celebrate this guy. So I had a marquee at the back of my garden. So we did I didn't even have an open casket because he didn't want one. So I respected his wishes. We had the funeral. Then everybody came back to my house and we partied till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
His favourite foods,
yeah,
the music, the booze, because he loved his brandy. We toasted to him. I'm like, this is how to do a funeral, to celebrate a person's life. And not, yes, he's gone. Of course I miss him. But, we have to do this. As South Asian people, we need to talk about funerals because we don't.
No. I think people find that funerals are a time of sadness. And
it is. Yeah. But if we talk about it, get everything prepared beforehand, how much easier is it on that person left behind?
Oh, honestly, I remember this quote my dad used to tell us. It was "Hasde hasde hamesha rona chahida, ronde ronde hamesha hasna chahida." Right? So it's like kabhi khushi kabhi gum.
I was just about to say
see,
that comes in my head,
that's
right?
why we get on so well, touch wood.
Because that's what I'm saying. But death is a celebration. That person's lived a life.
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing I can't stand is people say, oh my God, he was such an amazing guy. He was a really amazing guy, but he was a dickhead at the same time. Excuse the language, sorry. Yeah. But because you've got to talk normally about this person.
Yeah.
Because they were normal. They're not
but that just goes to show it's a real story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no filters like you would on a show.
No, if I just say his last song he picked was Wham! Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. When the thing goes in.
Wow.
Yeah, so everybody started laughing.
I'm sure, because they must have seen his personality.
And again, we say haste haste, right? Because he made everyone smile.
Yeah, and laugh.
While he was going.
Yeah.
So why was with the Rona Dona celebrates the person's life? That's my belief, and I know it's not for everybody. But if we can just bring some cushy from a gum.
But that's what I find in funerals. You find that one minute you're thinking of, oh, he's gone, and then you remember something funny that happened.
Absolutely.
So when I lost my father, he was the love of my life. He was everything for me. When he passed away, people were crying. I was crying, and then all of a sudden we remembered this funny story.
Laughing, right?
Yeah, you start laughing, and you think, oh my God, Daddy hunde the, oh my God,
exactly.
And na hasande. Like my dad would make us laugh. On if somebody passed or this and that, we would be really upset. They'd come back from the funeral because we were kids. That was the first time I ever experienced a funeral, and we were laughing and crying. Mum goes, "Fete mutada," like a Punjabi lady.
You can't do it, right?
She goes, "Log dekh rahe hai," and I says, "Mum, koi gal nahi hai na." Because I was like you were the black sheep. I was a black sheep in mine. Where I was told not to do something, I was still laugh. So we went in the other room and started laughing.
Do you reckon it's us women who
I think it's no. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's either the 60s girls, crazy cows, but otherwise I think it's more the fact that we're from up north. No, we're from up north.
Midlands.
I think it's the Midland thing. I think people in London are very
stuck up.
Yeah, stuck up, and they No.
I've lived here longer than I've lived in Leicester.
No, but I've been here like 38, 39 years. But like again that saying, my heart and love is still I'm still a Brummie. People come up to me and they say, "Oh my God, you're from Birmingham." I said, "Yeah, I was from Birmingham. I'm a Londoner now, but I'm still an Indian." Exactly. I'm so proud to be Indian. It's unbelievable.
And this is it.
Yeah. So earlier when we were saying that every 5 minutes I'll ring a friend and we'll be like a Shah Rukh Khan moment, or
Exactly,
we sing to each other.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. This is where our culture is so vibrant that sometimes we forget how
Yeah.
vibrant it is. And that's what I'm saying. You know, when we talk about colours, right? Go back to me doing the colours.
Yeah, tell me about your
So my
journey about colours.
right?
Yeah,
So for me, it was working. I always had red lipstick and red nails. That was my. Everyone knew that was my. Thing.
And red shoes.
And red shoes. I've got them on today. I've got red nails on as well. But that was my thing. But when Amit passed away, I just lost colour.
Why?
I didn't know. I couldn't see colour.
Did people make you to lose the colour?
Nobody said anything to me. So nobody said to me, don't do this, don't do that. But, you know, I think, again, culturally, we've seen daddis and nannies and the younger women, when they pass away, they wear white or light colours. So you think...
I mean, I think that would be more like in India.
But no, it happens here. No, it's not in India.
No, like that cultural shock of you can't wear colours anymore because you don't have a husband. But how does that justify...
That's what I'm saying. Do you know what? This is a real tough one.
Yeah.
So I just lost colour. I couldn't see colour. I could wear a red top like that. If I was going out, I could wear a red top. I couldn't do my nails. I had nude nails. I just wear nude lipstick. As you can see, my lipstick is sometimes it's still hard to put the red lipstick on, right? At certain times I do. But
so it's still traumatizing you,
almost 4 years down the road. When I look at my saris, so my judge's daughter got married just before Amit's year. I have meltdowns. When it comes to Indian clothes, because I'm such a bloody Bollywood, it's like I stand in front of the cupboard and I just cry. And sometimes it's hysterical crying.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to wear. Because all these amazing clothes I wore with my husband.
So wouldn't you think in the back of your mind that he's there?
Yes.
Because he sounds like in your whole journey after you lost him, he's guiding you, he's 100%. Telling you wear this colour, or but you're still skeptical of wearing the red lipstick.
It's still, I look in the cupboard, I'm like, I can't pick anything out. So I've started building a new wardrobe because I'm like, I don't want to wear these outfits I wore with him. He's not there. Although he's there in spirit, he's not there as in person. So
are these the things that pointed you and directed you towards being a body confidence coach, and the colour, how you got colour into
I think colour more so is coming through, because what I was doing the body confidence side of it, and then I was doing a bit of the styling.
Sure.
But the colour's coming to me more now because it's a personal journey that if I can't see colour, and if people just change the way they wear colour, how good would they feel? So I have started doing that. It's taken a while, but I'm slowly getting there.
Sure.
And that's why focus more on colour, being a colour consultant sometimes as well.
I've seen some of your posts. You're just fantastic. I love the way you colour coordinate things, the way you put a burgundy jacket on with a pair of jeans. I love it. And you wouldn't know unless you try it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Age, size, colour, it doesn't matter. Do you know what? Clothes, colour, confidence, it comes within.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does come within.
So that, would you say that's what's brought you up, and that's 100%. What's...
To me, what I am today is because of the journey I've gone through, because it was like, even like eating food. I ate Maggi noodles for God knows about 6 to 8 weeks in the evening. Every day was just Maggi noodles, because I didn't know, was I cooking food because I enjoyed it, my husband enjoyed it, the family enjoyed it, the kids enjoy it. You lose that. Yeah. And I'm like, here we go again, Maggi noodles.
Yeah.
And then I just tried to start putting because Amit and I were such big foodies. Everything was all about food. So while we have breakfast, what we're having for lunch, what we're having for dinner, and what we're having snacks in between.
You planned it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We were just foodies. Literally Friday, Saturday, Sunday was our food days. And we just used to cook together, where he used to pick what to cook, I used to cook. We used to sit there with a glass of wine, chit chat, sing music.
I see some of your posts sometimes where you're missing him, where you're having a glass of wine. You can tell, like me from the outside watching your posts, you can tell you're enjoying it because that was a special moment that you both shared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you know what? It's like for women, and it happens to men, but men just don't talk. But women, we have to live. I have 2 daughters, and I'm like, how are they going to see me? I don't want them to see me.
How do they look at you? Do they find that you're confident?
So proud, because they're like, Mom, just do it. Some things I come out with, they go, okay, tone it down. But it's really great to
Yeah.
have those, because my daughters are what, 36 and 31,
Mm.
and they're my best friends.
Mm.
So anything I do, I just run by them. There was a night, me and my little younger one are having a few drinks. She decided to put me on Tinder.
Wow.
Oh my God, so it's funny.
I was just going to ask you that. Are you
I knew you were
open
gonna
for the dating world?
I don't know yet. I don't think I'm.
I think we've spoken more about relationships than the
Exactly.
color, but it's color coordinated into everything.
100%. It's
Yeah.
like I see color now. I love the life I've got now. I'm
Yeah.
creating the life I love. I've got the right people around me, because again, through bereavement, you must know through other things that people disappear because people don't know how to deal with you.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you one more thing.
Yeah, 'cause-
So if Amit was alive today, would he have loved this new version of you with all the confidence and the colors and the, the kind of people you've experienced and met in your
So
journey?
if I just tell you,
Yeah.
when we got onto the flight to Singapore in 2016, he goes to me, I've got the girl I married. So I am that version
Yeah.
of the girl he married.
Okay.
So I haven't reinvented myself.
Yeah.
I've resurrected the old Mina.
Oh, wow. So when he met you originally,
When
you
he
were
met
that.
me, he goes,
But then you went
your
through that.
bubbliness and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff he fell in love with.
Yeah.
And then obviously life took another toll. And I lost it. And that day when we got in the plane, he said, "There's something about you." He goes, "I've got my Mina back." I'm like, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about? You've always had me." He goes, "No, the girl I married is sitting next to me today."
Oh.
That was it. That was nearly 29 years after marriage.
So is that another Bollywood song?
Yeah, it could be somewhere along the line.
So one question, how can someone start using colour to elevate their presence?
Stop. One, contact me first. I'll show you how to put colours together. I would say the quickest way to do it is look through your wardrobe. Look through your wardrobe. What's the majority of the colours you've got in there? What are the colours you're not wearing?
Okay.
Because you bought them. Think about it. Because automatically, reaction is, I like this, I'll buy it. But you don't wear it. Why are you not wearing that colour? Your initial gut feeling is the colour you need to wear.
So one thing I'd like you to share with our viewers and our listeners today that they can take away from the show and this segment about how they can love themselves. What is it that this one thing that you would like our viewers to know?
The simplest way, I would say, because it's not going to involve anything, I just want you to stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself, look at yourself from top to toe and toe to top. Take your time and then really look at your eyes. Look at yourself in the mirror, because when you have that eye-to-eye contact, you are really touching deep into your soul. It's one of the hardest exercises I had to do after Amit passed away. It's so powerful that when you look in the mirror, you're confronting yourself. And you say, if you're not where you need to be, and say, what can I do for you? What do you need? You know, the what, where, how, why questions. How can I help you? What do I need? What's going to really challenge me? And those questions are just so powerful. But when you stand in front of the mirror, look, if you're so comfortable with yourself, stand there naked. And it's so powerful. Or stand there with minimal clothes on. It's so powerful. This isn't just for women. This is for men and women. And the other thing is, when your child is looking in the mirror, let them look in the mirror. Don't stop them. Because everything stems from when you're young. If we stop getting the children to look into the mirror and look at themselves, let them see how they look. Let them dance in front of the mirror. Because as adults, we've forgotten to become that child. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, look at that 5-year-old child as well, to say, what was I like at 5 years old?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mina, for coming on the show today. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure. I've had so much fun. There was a few songs I wanted to sing, but I haven't. But I'm really thankful from the bottom of my heart. But I'd just like to say to my viewers one more thing before we go. Your colour in your wardrobe doesn't start from your wardrobe. It doesn't start from anywhere. After talking to Mina, I've realised it's about you loving yourself within. Until you don't connect to your soul, you can't go anywhere. So build that confidence. We'll let you know how you can get in touch with Mina. and I thank you so much for watching us. So, Ji Ainu and Sat Sri Akal Ji, and thanks for tuning in.